I welcome everybody to the Siaya International Trade and Investment Conference. This great conference is going to take place in Siaya from the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th of October. We are going to have more than 2,000 delegations from Kenya and abroad. And the participation is going to be high level. His Excellency the President has agreed to be the chief guest. We are going to have a conversation about Siaya and by extension Kenya as an economic region and Lake Region economic bloc. This conversation is going to turn into real investments in Siaya, where we are going to showcase potentials of nearly $3 billion projects which are bankable, and you're free to come to the conference and be able to be part of this great conversation. Welcome to Siaya, and see you on the 14th, 15th, 16th and 17th of October. Warwaku Siaya, Siaya Kababa.
Good evening. This is the Legends edition on KBC Channel 1. Glad to have you on board on the 4th of October 2025. But before we set the ball rolling, just to let you know that we welcome your feedback. Get us on our various socials. I'm Regina Manyara. Now let's sample what we have ahead of the edition. Crackdown on Shah fraudsters. 4 directors of hospitals in Kilifi and Vihiga are among 10 suspects to be arraigned in court. KMPDU withdraws critical and emergency care at public health facilities in Kiambu County in order to force the county government to address their grievances. Bliss in sunset years as 300 elderly persons are pampered with free personal grooming to boost their self-esteem. And temporary relief as the World Anti-Doping Agency puts a hold on planned sanctions against Kenya for non-compliance. Good evening once again. I'm Regina Manyara, and my colleague in sign language is none other than Lady Lucy Mora. Now, 10 people are set to be charged in court in relation to fraudulent claims at the Social Health Authority. Now, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, in a statement Saturday, named 2 directors and 5 employees of Jambo GPM Medical Clinic in Kilifi County, 2 directors of St. Mark Orthodox Hospital in Vihiga, and 1 employee at the Social Health Authority as among those set to be charged. They will be charged with, among others, conspiracy to defraud and commit a felony, falsification of health documents, cheating, and acquisition of proceeds of crime. Give us on minor with the details.
The Office of the Director of Public Prosecution has revealed the names of persons it says are behind the submission of fraudulent claims to the Social Health Authority. In a statement, ODPP says it will charge Samuel Tieno, an employee of the Social Health Authority, for conspiring to defraud and commit a felony contrary to the law. Two directors of St. Mark Orthodox Hospital in Vihiga County, namely Mark Dillion Sidon and D'Souza Fenley, are also facing similar charges, with additional charges of falsification of health documents and acquisition of proceeds of crime, charges slapped also on D'Souza Fenley. St. Mark's Hospital is also on the radar for reportedly submitting and being paid a claim of 4.9 million shillings instead of the correct amount of 18,000 shillings. Further, two directors of Jambo GPA Medical Clinic in Kilifi, namely Faith Chepkuriri B and Patrick Kimuyu Kanya, will each face 5 counts, among them fraudulent alteration of information and use of proceeds of crime. 5 employees at the Kilifi facility, namely Stephen Okinyo Juang, Justin Baraka Glenn, Maina Masharia, Pauline Wanjiru, and Nadia Mbeyu, are accused of, among others, forgery, knowingly making false statements and altering false documents. Jambo GPA Medical Facility is accused of submitting 2 million shillings worth of fraudulent claims to SHA. The DPP says the decision to charge them follows completion of investigations. 21 clinics are under investigation by the DCI as the agency peruses 1,188 files submitted from SHA and KMPDC for probe. Giverson Minor, Legends Edition.
Still on health matters, the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union, KMPDO, has withdrawn critical and emergency care being offered by their members in public health facilities within Kiambu County to pile pressure on the county government to resolve their grievances, among them payment of their 7-month salary arrears. The union has also threatened to stage peaceful demonstrations within Kiambu on Wednesday as the doctors' strike hits its 128th day.
It is 128 days since the doctors in Kiambu began their industrial action. The Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union, KMPDU, is blaming the county government for this prolonged standoff that they claim has resulted in over 100 maternal and child health-related deaths, which could have been avoided had their grievances been addressed in good time.
A strike that should not have gone beyond 1 week, at the men and women entrusted with duty of care of the citizen of Kiambu put the people above their pride and ego.
Patients in Kiambu are lamenting of paralyzed health services due to the strike.
Kwa mguu yangu kwa sasa inahitaji kupelekwa surgery, iende kwa theater iangaliwe, lakini siwezi pelekwa juu hakuna madaktari.
This could worsen as the union announced withdrawal of minimum services, which entail critical and emergency care at public health facilities in the county.
The minimum service that we had put in place there is of no use, because they are superintending upon more and more deaths by giving a semblance of activities that are happening when they're not. The National Executive Council has therefore recalled its minimum services in Kiambu County so that this matter can be addressed.
While urging the president to intervene, they gave Kiambu County government a 2-day ultimatum to resume talks, or they'll stage a peaceful demonstration on Wednesday.
That in next week, Wednesday, we will start a series of demonstrations carrying the coffins that dramatizes the painful nature of the deaths that have occurred in Kiambu and the carelessness of the county government.
What's happening in Kiambu is not a healthcare crisis. It is a governance crisis. It is a leadership crisis. It is a crisis of democracy.
We are already on the table. The other side of this boardroom is empty. Only stark notices, grandstanding, but no one there to beat us within a marriage of minds. We are in the boardroom. We are calling you to come and sit down.
This, the union chairperson Abidan Mwachi says, could be a precursor to rallying their members across the country to a nationwide strike on 25th October in solidarity with the Kiambu doctors if their grievances will not have been addressed.
sisi ni wageni.
Kasichona Masha, Legends Edition.
128 days and still counting. Now, the government will review the National Identification Card replacement fee to ensure no one is denied an opportunity to register as a voter. This was announced by President William Ruto during the Pentecostal Assemblies of God centenary celebrations in Nyangori village in Vihiga County. The head of state said the fee was introduced to discourage the trend of citizens who received IDs for free from frequently losing them and replacing them.
Pentecostal Assemblies of God centenary celebrations in Nyangori village, Vihiga County. It's here the President William Ruto announced plans to review the National Identification Card replacement fee to ensure no one is denied the opportunity to register as a voter.
Tunataka tuhakikishe ya kwamba vijana wa taifa letu la Kenya wanapata ajira ili tuhakikishe ya kwamba wanachangia katika kubadilisha nchi yetu na kusukuma uchumi wa taifa letu la Kenya liweze kuendelea zaidi.
Na tunaomba vile mheshimiwa amesema waive fees ya IDs tuweze kupata registration ya watu wengi ili tuweze kuregister kura tukupigie kura.
At the same time, he revealed the government is establishing two key funds, namely Infrastructure Fund and the Sovereign Wealth Fund, to fast-track the country's transformation agenda and secure its future.
As responsible citizens of the present, we must think about the generations of tomorrow, and we must keep for them something so that tomorrow they have a place to start.
On the privatization of the Kenya Pipeline Company Limited, the head of state commended members of parliament for approving the proposal, which he says will help raise the required 130 billion shillings. This even as he urged Kenyans to work together to unlock the country's potential and take it to the next level. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi and other leaders who accompanied the President called on the people of Western Kenya to support the head of state as he implements the country's transformation agenda and registers voters in the ongoing exercise.
You can't be partyless, voiceless, leaderless and voteless. Lazima tujiandikishe ili 2027 ukiwa na hiyo kadi yako ya kupiga kura tutakwambia leader ni nani.
Yusufar reporting for the Legends Edition.
Now, only 7,048 Kenyans have registered as new voters with the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission as of Thursday evening. The statistics by IEBC indicate that Nairobi County is leading with 1,597 new voters, while Lamu, only one new voter, has so far been registered. The Electoral Commission is imploring eligible Kenyans to register as voters so as to strengthen the country's democracy and secure its future.
Countrywide voter registration drive by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC, which began on the 29th last month, has managed to net a paltry 7,048 new voters in the first week. Nairobi County leading with 1,597 new voters registered, followed by Mombasa with 556, Kiambu 386, Machakos 260, and Kilifi 246. This even as calls mount, especially on the youth, to register as voters and exercise their civic duty in the 2027 general elections. According to the IEBC, 259 voters successfully transferred their registration to the new preferred electoral areas. The electoral body further allayed fears over the introduction of iris scanning as an additional biometric feature, explaining that it would help in identifying voters should the fingerprints and digital facial methods fail. The Commission further assured Kenyans that their data will be safeguarded as provided for by the Data Protection Act and only accessed by authorized personnel for legally prescribed purposes. The exercise is ongoing across the country, save for electoral areas whereby elections are scheduled. The IEBC has embarked on robust monitoring mechanisms and sustained civic awareness initiatives to enhance participation. NCA County, an intensified outreach program, will entail enlisting support of local leaders, schools and chiefs to reach more eligible Kenyans.
When we started registration, we expected a lot of agencies and everyone among the 31,000. But day one, we registered one person. Day two, also another one person. But yesterday was day 5. We registered about 11 because now we are also trying to outreach. Continuous voter registration is not taken out of the constituency, but we can outreach in terms of institutions like schools and colleges.
Give us Manyara Legends Edition.
Make sure that you verify your details with the IEBC as well as register if you have never participated in that civic duty that is for everyone who is eligible to vote, that is. Now, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki has assured tea farmers of the government is determined to eliminate cartels in the sector to ensure better returns. Speaking in Kericho County, the Deputy President said despite significant growth in earnings, farmers continue to suffer from depressed bonuses due to exploitation by middlemen. He also unveiled a series of development projects in the South Rift region aimed at boosting economic empowerment.
Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki was on Saturday in Londiani, Kericho County for a Women and Youth Empowerment Engagement Forum. Here, the second-in-command sent a strong message to cartels frustrating the tea sector.
Na mimi naendelea kusaidia rais kuleta marekebisho katika sekta ya chai, kupigana na wakora na cartels, wale ambao wanatumia hiyo sekta kuumiza wananchi na kula jasho ya wananchi.
Kindiki said the government is committed to sealing loopholes in the industry to safeguard farmer earnings.
We want to make sure going forward we improve on transparency. The farmers must get the right information about the marketing and the sales of their tea. We also want to improve on the quality of our tea so that it can be able to fetch good prices for us.
Blind testing will also be introduced to the tea auction to protect farmers from mistreatment.
Us as the legislature of this country, we are going to ensure that we have blind testing ya chai yetu. Ndio tuache mambo ya mtu kuonja na mdomo na kutema na kusema hii ni mbaya na hii ni mzuri.
Away from agriculture, the DP also announced that construction of the 8 billion shillings Londiani Teaching and Referral Hospital will soon commence, bringing specialized healthcare closer to the South Rift residents.
Kwenda Kenyatta Hospital, kwenda Eldoret kule mbali, wapate matibabu. Ile matibabu iko Eldoret, ile iko Nairobi, tuilete hapa Londiani.
Kericho Senator Aaron Cheriot lauded plans to tarmac the Londiani Iloti Road.
Tunataka kontrakta mwenye chini ya mwaka moja, tunapitia dakika 15 tunatokea Loti. Ama namna gani?
Later, the DP proceeded to Elgeyo Marakwet, where he threw his weight behind the intensification of ongoing disarmament efforts in Kerio Valley.
Mimi niko na hakika ya kwamba ile kazi ambaye Mheshimiwa Murkomen ameanza katika Wizara ya Usalama itakamilisha shida zote ambazo zilikuwa zimebakia mambo ya usalama.
Nasimama hapa nikisema ninajivunia hawa watu wa Marakwet, aswa hapa Marakwet East and West, kwa vile walijitolea kwa roho moja na tayari wametoa bunduki 285.
During Arange for Legends Edition.
Now, a joint memorial service was held in Gasharage, Kandara, Murang'a County in honor of 14 persons who perished in a grisly road accident in Kikope earlier this week. Families and friends eulogized their loved ones amid calls for further support to their families post-burial. Cabinet Secretary for Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, Alice Wahome, who joined the mourners for the service, pledged to mobilize leaders as well as well-wishers to fundraise for a ceremony to support the affected families beyond the funeral expenses. Further, she warned politicians to refrain from politicizing the solemn occasion and to show compassion to their families.
On behalf of the government, we shall come here on 25th so that we can raise some money, because what we raised throughout the week is sufficient for the funeral arrangements of the 14 people. And most of the families have left very young children between I think 3 years and 11 years. And therefore there is urgent need to raise some money for food, basically for immediate care and nurturing of the young ones.
And the question is, when was the last time you actually ensured your elderly parents got, some grooming, some soft treatment, spa and all that? Well, when we come back on the Legends edition, we'll share a story about 300 elderly persons receiving this particular treatment and how it has changed their lives.
Jeshi la Ulinzi la Kenya KDF linawatangazia zoezi la usajili wa Kenya ambao wangependa kujiunga nao kama wanajeshi. Zoezi hili litafanyika mwezi Oktoba mwaka huu. Usajili ambao utafanyika ni wa General Service Officers GSO, Cadets Regular and Graduates, Specialist Officers, General Duty Recruits, Tradesmen and Women and Defense Forces Constables. Je, una ndoto za kutumikia taifa la Kenya kama mwanajeshi? Kwa maelezo zaidi tegea KBC Radio Taifa tarehe 4 mwezi Oktoba, punde tu baada ya taarifa ya habari ya saa 1 usiku. Kadhalika, kwa maelezo zaidi ya wale ambao wangependa kujiunga na jeshi la Kenya, tembelea tovuti ya www.mod.go.ke. Kumbuka, tendo la hongo na ufisadi wa aina yoyote ni kinyume cha sheria na hakuna anayeweza kushawishi usajili wako, kwani zoezi hili ni bila malipo kwa wote ambao wangependa kujiunga na jeshi la Kenya. Ukikubali kuadaiwa, utapoteza pesa na mali yako na kuishia korokoroni.
We are talking about a vehicle ownership. To many women, owning a car is all about convenience, safety, independence.
I think for me, car ownership is such a huge milestone because it is what we call, for most ladies, a big girl purchase. You've been working, you've put in effort, and finally you're committing to something that adds value to you as a woman in terms of independence.
When you are dealing with a lady coming to buy a car, and a man coming to buy a car, they are quite distinct. Now you wonder, what was she looking for?
Because she's looking for affordable and she's looking for something that is easy to maintain.
Yes. Now when you take her to that position, she comes out of it immediately and say, no, this is too small.
There are no limits to what we can achieve except those we place on our own thinking. Wow. So the moment you think it, you can have it.
300 elderly persons were treated to a free personal grooming session that included hair styling, haircuts, manicures and pedicures. The treat by a non-governmental organization in Nakuru Bahati's estate saw the elderly pampered as part of the organization's efforts to enhance care to the elderly and boost their self-esteem. Yusuf Farah has the details of the makeover that put a smile on the faces of the vulnerable population.
This isn't your ordinary personal grooming experience. And these aren't your ordinary clients either. Thanks to a charitable foundation, these over 300 elderly persons are the recipients of free personal grooming services, from manicure to pedicure to stylish hairdos, well-plated cornrows, as well as foot massages for the women. It was truly an experience they will live to remember. Their faces telling of the joy.
Nimekuja kutengenezwa kucha ya miguu, ya mikono, and you see how beautiful they are. Ninafurahia mpaka miguu ninafanywa massage, najisikia sawa na poa.
Leo nimetolewa kitambaa ndio nisitengenezwe nywele, na nikitengenezwa nywele nafurahi kwa ajili nasikia mzuri, kwa ajili naochaga tu na shanua tu nywele kidogo naenda chachi.
Nikatengenezwa nywele na hata bado nimegojea nitengenezwa mikono na miguu.
Elderly men weren't left behind either. They received haircuts and facials as well as massages which transformed their looks. The charitable foundation that led the exercise emphasized the need to honor the elderly in the community.
Tumewasahau wazazi wetu, na tukisahau wazazi wetu, wengine hata wamekuja hapa, unapata mzazi akimwaga machozi kwa sababu anashindwa watoto wake walienda wapi.
Kila baba na mama wamebeba baraka ya the next generation, na njia moja ya hao watoto kupata hiyo baraka ni kutumikia wazee.
Sentiments echoed by the elderly who often feel neglected.
Wazee wengi hawaangaliwi na watoto yao. Kwa maana hata ukimwomba shilingi 50 ya kwenda kutengenezwa anasema hana. Sasa tunakaa na uchafu.
During the event, families were challenged to take care for the elderly. Isufor reporting for the Legends edition.
Isn't that lovely? So if you get some time to actually, go back home, treat your elderly parents to that kind of grooming, makes them feel good and young. But then the question someone is asking here online, what happens when they have to go to the shamba? What happens to their manicure? Well, they'll cross the bridge when they get there, but at least they felt nice, isn't it? Now to the counties. Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi has warned against vandalism of electrical installations, saying the government will deal decisively with those found destroying infrastructure. The CS was speaking as he concluded his 2-day visit in Nandi County. Details of this in our county news briefs.
The CAC was in Chepsui in Chesumei constituency as part of his 2-day tour to launch several projects in the 6 constituencies in Nandi County, warned those behind the destruction and vandalism of electrical installations that they will face the law.
Lazima tutoe onyo kwa wale wahalifu ambao wanatembea wakiiba, wakikata nyaya za stima, wanaziiba, wakibomoa transformers za stima, wanaiba mafuta ya transformers. Hawa majambazi, hawa wahalifu lazima wakome mara moja.
Elsewhere, over 300 entrepreneurs in Mombasa have been asked to seize opportunities in government and private sector projects during the Chanuka Jipange training by an ungovernmental organization.
Train them to listen to government policies, where is the government investing? Because businesses world over, for you to make money, you have to know where is the money going to.
Separately, over 100 procurement professionals from 8 African countries have completed training in Mombasa. KISM CEO Kenneth Matiba said the course will help government improve efficiency in World Bank funded projects.
And we believe that the African continent engaging in peer-to-peer exchange is a good model that will be able to create uniformity and homogeneity when it comes to labor import and export and creation of opportunities for employment for procurement and supply chain professionals across the continent.
In Meru County, the NCCK Meru Committee has raised concerns over rising teenage pregnancies, HIV infections, cancer cases and mental health challenges in the county. The committee's chair, Bishop Dr. Nicholas Mutwiri, called for urgent action amid calls for youth to register as voters.
Meru continues to face a high rate of teenage and unintended pregnancies, particularly among schoolgirls, threatening the education and the future of young people. Number 2 is HIV prevalence. Infection rates remain significantly high, calling for strengthened awareness, prevention and treatment interventions.
Let's register as voters so that we can have power in 2027 at the ballot.
And still in Meru, special needs education teachers led by Edwin Juma Gituma are expressing concerns over what they say are injustices in the operations of KUSNET Union.
The KUSNET Union started deducting our money without consent. Then I went to the National Assembly and I petitioned. That is petition 54 of 2023. That is now the time we came to realize that there was a demarcation that was agreed and signed upon the 3 unions.
Meanwhile, Meanwhile, construction of 580 student housing units is set to begin at Gishugu TVC, easing reliance on private hostels. The institution's management says the project will boost the intake of students amid calls to improve the infrastructure.
Tutapata 580 beds. Hiyo ni kumaanisha kuwa watoto wetu 580 watapata mahali marazi, na hivyo tutapunguza mashida tulizo nazo za mambo ya kuhakikisha mtoto anaweza fika shule bila vya kusumbuka.
I welcome everybody to the Siaya International Trade and Investment Conference. This great conference is going to take place in Siaya from the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th of October. We are going to have more than 2,000 delegations from Kenya and abroad, and the participation is going to be high level. His Excellency the President has agreed to be the chief guest. We are going to have a conversation about Siaya and, by extension, Kenya as an economic region and the Lake Region economic bloc. This conversation is going to turn into real investments in Siaya, where we are going to showcase potentials of nearly $3 billion projects which are bankable, and you're free to come to the conference and be able to be part of this great conversation. Welcome to Siaya, and see you on the 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th of October. Warwaku Siaya, Siaya Kababa.
From the 7th to 9th October 2025, the world turns to Nairobi as Kenya proudly hosts the 24th COMESA Summit of Heads of State and Government at the KICC, bringing together 21 member states, global partners, and business leaders. This year's theme is leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth. With a population of 682 million and a GDP of over $1 trillion, COMESA is Africa's largest regional economic bloc, shaping trade, innovation, peace, and prosperity. The COMESA Summit 2025, live from KICC Nairobi, only on KBC Channel 1.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday, only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome, and welcome to Legends Edition Sport. Now, it's a sigh of relief for the Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya, ADAC, after the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, put on hold planned sanctions against Kenya for non-compliance with the WADA code, although they are not off the hook yet. WADA said in a statement that it has suspended the planned sanctions against Kenya following progress made by the country in a corrective action plan within a 4-month period, which had raised concerns in the May 2024 audit. WADA has instead referred Kenya's case to the Independent Compliance Review Committee, which is mandated to make further recommendations to the Executive Committee for direction. The new development means Kenya's bid to host the 2029 and 2032 World Athletics Championships, set to be reviewed by the end of this year, remain on course, with IDAC also set to continue getting full support from WADA. Among the key requirements which require President William Ruto has committed to implementing include restructuring IDAC and increasing funding to the agency to enhance the fight against doping. And Lilian Kasait and Alex Matata are the winners of the 10-kilometer races in this year's Prison Services Inter-Regional Cross-Country Championships held today at the Prison Staff Training College in Ruiru. Kasait, representing Northeastern, cut the tape in 33 minutes, 48.5 seconds, 5.5 seconds ahead of recruit Rebecca Mwangi, who finished second, while Karen Chebet of Coast completed the podium positions in 34 minutes, 24.10 seconds. Matata won the men's title in 29 minutes, 57.1 seconds, followed by Rift Valley's Simon Itot in 30 minutes, 10 seconds, while Charles Muneri of Northeastern was third in 30 minutes, 15.5 seconds, in a race that involved guest athletes Festus Prop and Shadrach Koech, who led the pack. Kenya Prison Service used the event to select their team for the National Cross-Country Championships cum trials set for the 25th of this month at the Eldoret Sports Club. And moving on is the defending champions Police Bullets have begun their defense of the FKF Women's Premier League title on a winning note after beating Kayole Starlets by 2-1 in a closely contested encounter at the Utalii ground in Nairobi. Bullets won the Premier League title last season for the second consecutive time, did not have it easy against the girls from Kayole, but managed to collect 3 points to start the season in second position on the table. They sit behind Trinity Starlets, who defeated Kisumu All Starlets 4-2 in the highest scoring game of the match day, one played at the Komboni Polytechnic grounds. The 4 goals moved Trinity Starlets straight to the top of the table with a better goal difference. Third on the table are Zitec Sparks, who also registered a win in their season opening an encounter after earning a hard-fought 2-1 win over Kisped Queens at Zitec University grounds. Only one game lacked goals when Kibra Soccer Women and Mulinzi Starlets played out a goalless draw at the Marist University grounds. And Bandari FC have moved up to 5th position from 14th on the FKF Premier League table after beating Murang'a Seal by 3-1 at the Mbaraki Sports Club in Mombasa. It was the first win for the Coastal Bay side after losing 1 and drawing 1 of their 2 matches they had played this season. Murang'a Seal had gone ahead in the 7th minute of the game, but Bandari restored parity 12 minutes later before adding their second in the 34th minute to take a 2-1 halftime lead. The win was put by Ion Dowd in the 77th minute with a third goal that pushed Murang'a Seal down to 10th from position 8. 5 more matches will be played tomorrow. Mathare United will face Kariobangi Sharks. KCB play Gor Mahia. Tusker host Shabana. APS Bomet will play holders Kenya Police, while Ulinzi Stars have a date with Mara Sugar. And Kenya's sprint star Ferdinand Manyara has described the 2025 season as the most challenging of his career, a year marked by persistent injuries, disrupted training, and uncharacteristic results on the track. The African 100-meter record holder says he is now focusing on physical and mental recovery ahead of the 2026 season. Frederick Mwoki has the package.
This time they're away.
After fighting his way to the semi-finals of the men's 100 meters at the concluded World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Japan, Ferdinand Manyara, who clocked 10.09 seconds, missing out on the final by a slim margin, says his family is setting his eyes on 2026.
I don't lose, I only learn. So that's the thing that I pick from every season. So now we're working towards the next season, trying to correct the mistakes that we made in the last season and just get better in everything.
His season was marred by injuries which ultimately forced him to withdraw from the 2025 Diamond League final in Zurich. He says the setbacks limited his speed and power, but he's taking a measured approach to the off-season.
No, I haven't still achieved what I wanted to achieve in 100 meters. And I know the journey is a bit longer, but you just need to be patient. I want to get that gold medal, of course, in a major championship. So that's what we are really working towards, and just being patient, and putting in the work.
He further says he is still seeking to reclaim his sub-10 form, mentoring rising talents and solidifying Kenya's position in sprinting events worldwide. Frederick Muki for Legends Edition.
Now, the Harambee Starlets will report to come tomorrow for the upcoming two-legged 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, that's WAFCON, qualifier against Gambia. Kenya is aiming to make a return to the Women's Africa Cup of Nations for the first time since their debut appearance in 2016. Head coach Beldine Odemba already named her provisional squad in preparation for that decisive round of matches, and they include new call-ups: Vihiga Queens goalkeeper Marcia Koth, defenders Dorcas Neema of Kibra Soccer Queens, Lavin Ochola of Kayale Starlets, Kiki Masika of Zitex Sparks, and Rising Stars Lauren Ilavonga. In the midfield, coach Odemba has called up another under-20 player, Elizabeth Muteshi, as Kizia Ngaira makes her comeback. Charlene Opisa, Charity Midewa will boost the attack after graduating to the senior ranks, while they will be joined by Nicole Hawa Muteshi, another graduate and top scorer from Ladies FC. Harambee Starlets progressed to the second round and final leg of qualifiers after eliminating Tunisia 1-0 on aggregate to set up a final clash against Gambia, who eliminated Niger 4-1 on aggregate. The first leg between Kenya and the Gambia will be played on the 24th of this month at the Nyayo National Stadium, before the return leg in Senegal, which will be played 4 days later. And Adith Sujit from Three Rivers Academy is a champion of the Wood Creek School Chess Tournament held today at the Wood Creek School. More than 200 players competed in the one-day tournament that attracted players from more than 30 schools.
Adith Sujit won 3 matches to top the under-18 years open category of the Wood Creek School Chess Tournament held today at the school. He defeated Wayne Wanda of Loreto Convent Msongari and Wega Irungu of Holy Cross Catholic International, who finished in the silver and bronze medal positions respectively. Dylan Maina and Kwanza Nahimana won the under-16 years boys and girls categories respectively. In the under-16 years boys category, Maina finished above Ryan Muhoro and Derek Githaiga, who were the other players on the podium, while Nahimana was the best under-16-year-old girl, having beaten Alison Wema and Abigail Njore, who followed in second and third positions respectively.
Teachers are there to patron the clubs, but we hire experts to coach them, and that is a good contribution. And also, giving such kind of platforms is very key. That is a good gesture from the school, providing the opportunities, coaching them, and also exposing them to the outer world.
Peter Ochieng Odoyo, Jamie Kariuki and Felix Owino were the top 3 players in the under-14 years open category, as Keisha Sifa Gitao, Melanie Wawera and Asana Beryl lined up in the top 3 positions in the girls category.
For the lower categories, under 8 and under 10, I'd say most of them are just beginning. They are getting introduced to chess, so their games end fairly fast. But for the elder kids, their games end in checkmate. So for them, the competition is higher than for the smaller kids.
Gasheru Francis Nderito and Wanjiru Wanjiku topped the under-12 years podium for boys and girls respectively, while Zen Wright and Marianne Machel were unbeatable in the under-10 years categories.
It's really fun, and they meet new people from other schools. Like, I'm sure everyone here has made at least a new friend from a different school, and they get to know each other, they learn, they teach each other new things, see what this kid knows, this other kid might not know. So yeah, it's a really good place to interact with other people, learn new ideas, and also share your ideas. Yeah, and also get to know how other players think.
John Carlson and Katie Wambui won the under-8 years categories. About 240 players competed in the tournament. That was in its second edition, with the first being held back in 2023.
We are impressed because we've managed to give students a platform to practice resilience, to practice strategy, and above all, to mark their steps and prepare every move.
Barclay Feather, Legends Edition Sports.
Moving on is that Ability Sports Kenya has wrapped up national trials for the Kenya Para Wheelchair Fencing team, which is now in full training ahead of the World Ability Sports Games in Thailand. The 19-strong squad, coached by Vivina Koth, was selected during their trials held at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. And moving on is that the team will compete at the Para Wheelchair Fencing event at the World Para Fencing World Cup in Nakoch, Ratchasaima from the 20th to the 23rd of this month. This competition is also part of the 2025 World Ability Sport Games, which will be held in Nakhon Ratchasima from the 17th to the 24th of next month. Kenya will be represented in Thailand by both the para wheelchair fencing and para athletics teams.
Okay, that's one. Number guys, on guard, say Ali. Next one.
And the national boxing team, the Hit Squad, is ramping up training ahead of the Africa Zone 3 Boxing Championship, set to be held from the 16th through to the 24th of this month at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. Based at the Manyara Police Depot, the team is honing strength, endurance and tactics under head coach Musa Benjamin and his technical bench, which comprises David Monohe, John Wawero, John Ochieng and Julius Theuri. The squad features experienced boxers like Boniface Mogunde, Shafi Bakari, Ethan Maina, Peter Abuti, Amina Martha, Friza Siko and Elizabeth Andiego, alongside emerging talent eager to shine regionally. Boxing Federation of Kenya President Anthony Jamal Otieno expressed confidence in the team, calling the Zone 3 Championship a key stage for Kenyan boxers to showcase their skills.
Like 20 years ago, 2005, and we were looking towards to becoming the first position to take like all the gold medals because we are hosting the games, so we are preparing so well.
Sisi tumejiandaa na imani kuwa hii ushindi inabaki Kenya. Mimi mwenyewe nimejiandaa vizuri. Sijashinda gold zone 3, nimeshinda bronze, nimeshinda silver. Inshallah, God willing, ninaamini kuwa gold inaenda kuileta.
And boxer Praxidis Anyango will hope to make it 9 wins out of 9 when she takes to the ring to defend her pugilist syndicate of Tanzania, that is the PST crown, against Flora Machela of Tanzania on the 10th of October. The 59-kilogram 10-round women's super featherweight title bout will be one of the 7 fights on the card at the Edge Convention Center in Nairobi on Friday night.
After struggling to get an opponent for months, Praxidis Anyango will be back in the ring next week to defend her PST title against Tanzania's Flora Machela.
So far nimepigana mechi 8 na zote Mungu amenisaidia nikawin, na hii game ya next week ya date 10 naenda kudefend mshipi yangu ya PST ambayo nilishinda katika game yangu ya pili. Nilishinda pale Kasarani.
Praxidis has been training hard in Nairobi as she prepares for one of the 2 co-main events, hoping to keep her unbeaten record intact.
Hii ni mara ya kwanza na meet, mara ya kwanza sijaimuona, nimeona tu videos, nimeona kicheza majuu, lakini mimi sijali, siangaliangi mtu record. Juu so far penye nimepigana nao wananishinda record. Wengine wako na kama Jenny Kavlani, ni mtu mzoefu. Amecheza boxing nilikuwa mdogo, nikiwa na watch. Sasa imefika tena time pia mimi nikacheza naye boxing. Sasa mimi siangaliangi record. Mimi niko tu sawa.
She has struggled to get an opponent who is ready to face off with her, as most boxers in her category have walked away. On May 24th this year, her Ugandan opponent Lydia Mukisa developed cold feet at the 11th hour and walked away from their fight at Charter Hall in Nairobi.
Hii mwaka imekuwa challenging juu nikipewa opponent, nikiambiwa niko na game, nafaa kucheza game. Sometimes unapata opponent ya kuji afiki, unaona. Sasa inakuwa challenging sana, lakini sasa hii nashukuru Mungu juu nimepata opponent anakuja tucheze fight, na kitu na promise wa Kenya sitawaangusha na belt yetu haitaenda.
Despite being one of the best boxers in Kenya, the 35-year-old single mother has struggled with life, especially with the lack of a sponsor and fighting events.
Mi changamoto ile naweza ona ni sometimes una take time mingi, unatoka kwa nyumba asubuhi, kwa mimi naishi Kayole. Natoka kwa nyumba asubuhi kitu saa 2 nafika hapa, kutoka hapa saa 8, alafu mimi ni mtu niko na familia. Na urudi tena home, uanze kushughulika venye watoto wanaweza kula, tena upate tena afya ya kuja kesho yake. Naona ni ngumu, ningepata mtu wa kunisimamia ingekuwa sawa sana. Plus rent nyumba inakuwa ngumu sana. Ndio sometimes mechi pia hazikuji kila mwezi, sometimes unakaa.
The opportunity to fight again next week, courtesy of gaming firm Sport Pesa, is a chance to once again prove her capability in the ring, with the hope of attracting a sponsor that will hold her hand in her journey of success.
Kitu ya kwanza nashukuru sana Ultra Fitness under promoter Morris. Hii ni game yangu ya pili nacheza kwake, kwa under promotion yake Ultra Fitness. Nashukuru sana, alafu nashukuru pia Sport Pesa kuingililia. Nataka pia mimi wanisukume venye walikuwa wamesukuma Zarika akasonga mbele. Hata pia mimi nataka hizo mikanda kubwa zimeandikwa WBC. Nataka sana wakiingilie, watu support, tutafika mbali.
Besides the women's bout, 6 other fights will be staged on that Friday. Javan Buyu and Christopher Osicho will face off in the men's 61 kilograms Kenya National Lightweight title contest, while Lucien Bambam Botumbe of the Democratic Republic of Congo will take on Kenneth Lukiamuzi of Uganda in a 10-round East and Central African middleweight title contest. John Juma will fight Ramadan Kondo. Alvin Owino will take on Maxwell Odhiambo. Abdi Bashir will fight Peter Andai, while Maurice Oduor will face off with Abednego Ngira.
After kudefendi mshipi ya PST, ningependa sana tena Sport Pesa wanieke tena game mwingine, at least ya mkanda kubwa. For example kama ile ya WBC Pan Africa ama Central and East Africa, at least pia mimi nikuwe na mkanda kubwa. Juu hii inakuanga tu iko na bendera ya Tanzania peke yake. Mimi nataka ile kubwa, at least ndio ivutie watu, ndio nikuwe na challengers wengi.
Barclay Feather, Legends Edition Sports.
Moving on is that Stein August was crowned the winner of the 5th edition of the Manyara Tennis Championship, which culminated at the Nairobi Club today. This is after overcoming Thayo Mbogo in the competition, which attracted close to 350 players.
The 5th edition of the Manyara Tennis a junior tennis tournament for children aged 10 and below, hosted by the Manyara Foundation, culminated at the Nairobi Tennis Club. Stein Auguste was crowned the champion after claiming a win against the Yumbogo in the final.
The aim for the event remains the same, to identify talent and then help the Tennis Federation to nurture the talent and just follow them up and make sure that they have a great year as they proceed with the next season.
David Duku finished third, while Jonathan Nyangara settled for the 4th position. The junior tournament, which drew nearly 350 participants, showcased some of the country's most promising tennis talents.
As a federation, we always scout talent from there. So the winners in the 10 and under category, we follow them up in their various academies. And when there's a call-up for the national team for the 12 and under, we consider them.
Beyond competition, the Manyara Tennis aims to promote physical health, confidence and social engagement among children, with scouts from Tennis Kenya watching closely for emerging talent. Frederick Muki for Legends Edition.
And Nandi Grannies FC were crowned football champions of the 5th edition of the Tender Wema Cup after a 1-0 win over Nairobi team at St. Mary's School in Nairobi. The one-day tournament is held to raise funds to educate children from different parts of the country. This year's edition was geared towards raising 10 million shillings in support of the initiative. The initiative seeks to help the needy but not necessarily intellectually functional children, the ones left behind who are largely invisible in the numerous school scholarships and bursary schemes.
And every year it grows. Today there are many, many more. In fact, for the first time, we even have a grannies team. And we have a team that came all the way from Nandi County, supported by Nandi County, and they were playing against the Nairobi team. And I don't know whether I should say I am happy or sad to say that they have beaten us. And yet we are not grannies, they are the grannies.
We always see very bright children getting scholarships. What about the ones who are not so bright? You see, they are also able to, they are needy. And maybe if given the opportunity, they would also fit into the brightest. So I think, in my opinion, it's one of the best things I've.
I'll tell you one thing. Grandmoms have no budget limit for grandchildren. So we should have more of those tournaments, and these youngsters will enjoy. Moving on is that over 600 men and women turned up today for the annual Association of Kenya Insurance, that's AKI Sports, at the Ulinzi Sports Complex. The games, which brought together participants from all insurance companies in Kenya, are aimed at increasing collaboration and nurturing talent among the insurance service providers. Among the disciplines which were featured were football, seven-a-side, volleyball, darts, basketball, athletics, netball, tug-of-war, swimming, and athletics. The event organizers are keen on expanding the games to accommodate more participants in next year's edition, especially in sports which attract female competitors.
An industry sporting event whereby we collaborate, we are able to network with other professionals in the same industry, and we just need to urge all the teams to participate.
This year they have improved, though the number is a bit low, because last year we were playing 2 players per every company, and today we were playing 1 player per company. So the number has come down. So we are urging the management to think of advancing the game. We get 2 players per each company so that the game can be enjoyable.
And Declan Rice scored his first goal of the season, and Bukayo Saka added a second as Arsenal comfortably beat West Ham United by 2-0 at the Emirates Stadium. Rivals Manchester United replicated that score in their priceless win over Sunderland in front of 74,000 fans at Old Trafford.
Set for the start then. It will be West Ham in their changed colours here to get the action underway.
Tottenham Hotspur get us underway, kicking from right to left.
Well, and just about 20 minutes ago, another game came to a close. Chelsea were playing against Liverpool FC, and Chelsea have won by 2-1. And these 2 teams also came into this game with a different story. Both had lost their last 2 matches, so one was going to go on a trot of 3. Liverpool, other ones were there. Pressure on Arne Slot. Enzo Maresca taking a break as he heads into the international break. And I'll also tell you this. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., have you thought of wheel-to-wheel racing by 4-wheel drive cars in desert conditions, but also mixed with water? We've got the Extreme EX Pre. 3 p.m. Watch that tomorrow, because today at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. we had that. We'll be giving you more stories about that. So look out for the Extreme E, and these are cars which are driven by hydrogen, not petrol, not electricity, hydrogen. But every team has got a man and a woman, so there's going to be 1.5 of wheel-to-wheel racing live on KBC Channel 1, and not just today, but also in the coming weekend on the 9th, 10th, and 11th of October. We're going to have more of that, and we hope that it comes to Kenya. That's your sports fix for this weekend. My name is Daniel Wahome. Have a good one. Back to Regina.
Much for Home for that breakdown on what has been happening in the sporting arena. A few teams are not too happy with the results of these matches that have been played in the EPL, but just to get further details are available on our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke, where we keep tabs on what is happening, including business as well as sports. See you tomorrow on Sunday Express when we talk about, technology facilitated violence and why women and children and girls especially are at risk. Have a great evening ahead. I'm Regina, Manyara.
Tushinde.com. Cheza safe, cheza smart. Gambling is addictive, not for persons under the age of 18 years.
Sasa kwa star 419 hash uko na game mpya. Tushinde spin corner. Simply spin. Kisha ngoja, na kwa entry moja unaweza angukia na uspin hadi mara 3. Na ikigonga 25,000 na kufikia instantly. Cheza spin corner sasa hivi kwa star 419 hash option 4.
Tushinde.com. Cheza safe, cheza smart. Gambling is addictive, not for persons under the age of 18 years.
Jeshi la Ulinzi la Kenya KDF linawatangazia zoezi la usajili wa Kenya ambao wangependa kujiunga nao kama wanajeshi. Zoezi hili litafanyika mwezi Oktoba mwaka huu. Usajili ambao utafanyika ni wa General Service Officers GSO, Cadets Regular and Graduates, Specialist Officers, General Duty Recruits, Tradesmen and Women and Defense Forces Constables. Je, una ndoto za kutumikia taifa la Kenya kama mwanajeshi? Kwa maelezo zaidi tegea KBC Radio Taifa tarehe 4 mwezi Oktoba, punde tu baada ya taarifa ya habari ya saa 1 usiku. Kadhalika, kwa maelezo zaidi ya wale ambao wangependa kujiunga na jeshi la Kenya, tembelea tovuti ya www.mod.go.ke. Kumbuka, tendo la hongo na ufisadi wa aina yoyote ni kinyume cha sheria na hakuna anayeweza kushawishi usajili wako, kwani zoezi hili ni bila malipo kwa wote ambao wangependa kujiunga na jeshi la Kenya. Ukikubali kuadaiwa, utapoteza pesa